For this next question, question 4, I've split it into parts, so we're given space to understand and do our working. And this question utilizes our understanding of the first chapter, I believe, of Peer 1. And we're mainly throughout the question just going to be using two rules, which is x to the power a multiplied by x to the power b. Because it's the same base, this is really just x to the power a plus b, only if it's the same base. And our second rule that we're going to be using is that x to the power a, all of it to the power b is just x to the power ab. It's really important that we know how these rules work. Okay, given that y is equal to a to the power x, we're asked to express it in the simplest forms of terms of y and a. So a to the power 3x plus 1. When you're given a question like this, you're looking, let's split it up because we want a to the power of x, right? So we know there's an a in there, we know there's an x in the power. How do we get that alone? Let's work on simplifying it step by step. What can we do first over here? There's an addition sign, right? So we know that we can use that first rule because if there's an addition sign in the power, that just means it's being multiplied but with the same base. So that's a to the power 3x multiplied by a to the power of 1, which is just a. So we're gonna remove that later on. Then what do we simplify next? A to the power 3x. It's being multiplied, so we know that one of them is a power. Now powers are interchangeable because they're gonna end up being multiplied either ways. So you can write whichever you want first. However, we do want it in terms of a to the power x, where I'm gonna write that first. So a to the power x, all of it to the power 3, multiplied by a to the power of 1. And now we have it, we have all the steps, we have all the ingredients, we just got to put it together. A to the power of x, we know that's y, so that's y cubed multiplied by a, but I'm just going to write that as a y cubed because it's what we got to write in order, and that's it. You're only going to get 1 mark for your final answer. Now for the next part, it looks a bit complicated, but it's quite easy when you understand how to do it. Now, the negative power, we don't like that in the denominator, so we're going to want to bring it up so it's a positive power. And once you bring something from the denominator to the numerator, the power changes, and that's exactly what we want. So now we're going to be working with 5 multiplied by 3a 1 minus x squared. Perfect. Now we can work with this. We can bring the 3 outside. If we bring the 3 outside, the power comes along with it, right? So that's 5 multiplied by 3 squared multiplied by a to the power 1 minus x squared. 3 squared, that's just 9, and 5 times 9 is 45. So let's just write that. Now, let's bring that power down, so because we really want a to the power x by itself, don't we? So 45 multiplied, because we want everything outside of the bracket at this point. So 2 times 1, that's just a squared, multiplied by 2 times minus x, that's a minus 2x. Okay, now remember, okay, we want the a to the power x by itself. So what do? We can rewrite that as a to the power x to the power minus 2. And then just write the rest of it. We can't forget all that. So a to the power x, we know that's y. So 45 times a squared times y to the power minus 2. Now really this is it, but let's make it look cleaner, more neat. So we bring that y down, so that's 45 a squared over y squared. And that's it. That is your final answer. 3 marks. For the next part, p is equal to 9 to the power t. And we have to show that the equation can be rewritten as this. So we're given that p is equal to 9 to the power t. In these types of questions, look where you can simplify first rather than just writing everything at once. Look at what you can simplify first. This looks the most complicated. So let's simplify that. 3 to the power 4t plus 2. So we have that addition sign, so we know that just means that's 3 to the power 4t multiplied by 3 squared. Now really, we want things with the base of 9, and we know that 3 squared gives us 9. We have one of those, but 3 to the power 4t, 4 is a multiple of 2. So what we could do is we could also just rewrite that as 3 squared. And then how do we get 2 to become 4t? Just write that as 2t multiplied by 3 squared. So now we have 2t times 9. And we do want it in 9 to the power t. So remember the power rule. This can be rewritten as 9 to the power t squared times 9. And 9 to the power t is just p. So that is your 9p squared. Wonderful. So let's rewrite what our equation. We have 3 times 9p squared plus 1 equal to 82. 90, that's just p, so that's p. Let's expand the bracket out. 3 times 9, 27p squared plus 3, that's equal to 82p. And then look, we have the same numbers as what we want. It's just about rearranging at this point. So just going to write that here. 27p squared minus 82p plus 3 is equal to 0. Wonderful, and hence proved. It's not a proving question, but I just like writing that. And sometimes in some questions like this, you may have to switch the signs. It's just about having the same numbers and knowing where to work from there. Now for the next and last part, I believe, hence solve this. Since it says hence, we know that we have to use something from the previous question, and we already rewrote this as 27p squared minus 82p plus 3 is equal to 0. Now, this is a quadratic, and you can just use your calculator to solve this. 27 minus 82 plus 3, that's equal to, so p is equal to 3 and 1 over 27. A little tip, if you ever have to really show you're working, you don't have to do a lot of that now that you're in 6th form. If you do, you should know how to expand from the answers that you've given. So if p is equal to 3, the brackets are going to look like p minus 3 and 27p minus 1. And using that, you can just expand it even further, 27p squared and all that. Perfect. So now we know what p is, but we're not solving for p. We know that p is equal to 9t. We have to solve for t. So let's write that like this. 9t is equal to 3. And 9t is equal to 1 over 27. Now, for 9t is equal to 3, this one should be pretty simple because we know that 3 squared is equal to 9. So root 9 is equal to 3, and root is just 9 to the power half is equal to 3. So our first t is a half. Perfect. And then we have to work on the other side. If you do know logs, perfect for you. You can just do log 9, 1 over 27. That should give you your answer, which is negative 3 by 2. However, it is a P2 concept, so if you don't know logs, that's perfectly fine. Another way to solve this would be, well, okay, 9. Let's have everything the same base. 9 is equal to 3 squared, and 27 is equal to 3 cubed. It's essential that we know that. So if we were to rewrite everything, let's just bring this down over here. If we were to simplify this, we could write this as 3 squared to the power t is equal to 1 over 3 cubed. We write that one more time. 3 2t is equal to 3 to the power negative 3. Now, because the base is the same and math is quite simple at this point, we can just cancel out the base. So we know that 2t is equal to minus 3. And it's just algebra at that point, so t is equal to minus 3 over 2. Perfect. Those are your final answers. If you want to make it simpler, you could just write it as well. Perfect. Solved.